Brandon from Chaseco, and welcome to Navigating in a Hostile Work Environment. I am pleased to welcome you here as our mission is very simple, and that is to help take you from where you are and transcend your environment to move you to where you need to be. If you are dealing with an abusive boss, gossiping coworkers that you can't trust, or you're subject to an onslaught of attacks at work, or you just feel as though when you go into work every day it's a battlefield, then this is the right course for you. We designed this specifically with you in mind. So no matter what it is that you're facing on the job, I'm here to reassure you that there are steps that you can take to tactfully maneuver in a hostile environment with the ultimate goal of being able to impact more, have greater influence, and live your purpose in a greater way and a greater capacity despite your environment. So this course is going to help to provide you with the structure that you need to take confident but consistent steps. So we'll explain how you can rise above petty conflicts, turn obstacles into opportunities, and tactfully approach the work environment even when you're coping with abusive coworkers or difficult bosses. So if you dread the workday ahead, then this is the course that can help turn it around and change your perspective and hopefully renew your mind so that your job will have a more positive experience than you thought possible. The inspiration for this course came from the memory of the person I used to be at work, in a miserable, hostile work environment with a very petty, abusive boss who made daily personal attacks towards my character, my experience, and even my appearance, coupled with threatening comments to constantly fire me. Surrounded by coworkers who would throw me under the bus without a moment's notice because I was new and not part of their years-long clique. So I wrestled with the feeling of not being good enough and thinking maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I am a horrible employee. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing despite being highly qualified, after hearing those attacks lodged at me daily. As a result, I became someone who appeared confident on the outside, but I was crippled by low self-esteem on the inside because I allowed the environment to affect me. And then I tried really hard to be perfect in hopes that I could prove that I'm not the person my boss and colleagues are trying to make me out to be, which only backfired because I was dealing with not only a boss and coworkers, but an environment that was highly competitive in which they intentionally looked for fault in anything I did. I could walk on water and they would say, yeah, that was just because he couldn't swim. So I took great joy in putting this course together to teach others what I wish I had at the time. And if your circumstance sounds anything similar to mine, believe me, I know just how soul crushing it can feel to go through this. So without further ado, let's jump into the course details. So if we take a quick look at our learning objectives, we'll be able to identify not just the signs of a conflict, but also the distinction between a disagreement and a true conflict on the job. And also the subtle art of managing our own emotional reaction in a conflict situation. Additionally, understanding your workplace culture and the subculture. So those unwritten rules, those practices and behaviors that aren't always as highlighted as they should be. And then we'll go into assertive communication without putting folks on the defensive, which is important. And also the differentiation between your personal style and that of others. So yourself in contrast to others. And then lastly, we'll go over how and when to seek support. We'll go over some options that are available. I will dispel some commonplace misconceptions of who you should go to in this particular circumstance, which would hopefully be eye-opening and helping in your situation. And if we take a look at our course outline, and this is essentially what I'll be sharing with you during our time together, and it's really the information that I wish I had known. And essentially these steps are what I wish that someone would have given to me along the way in some type of a course, an outline, a playbook, a plan, something. And so we decided to, foster that out across 6 different modules, which covers the gambit from conflict awareness to workplace culture. We'll break every single portion of a hostile environment down to its core component part so that you can understand how everything moves in the machine, along with the introspection and emotional awareness, understanding how that hostility affects your emotions and how you need to respond to it to make sure that you stay sane and don't go postal on someone in the workplace by having tactful approaches to hostility, and then how and where to seek support. So, essentially we created this because I know firsthand how soul crushing it can be in the midst of being attacked daily at work and feeling as though you have no support system whatsoever. You don't have not one coworker or anyone that you can trust in that organization. And so I know exactly what that feels like. And so I wanted to help others in the same place, not just from a standpoint of, hey, I don't know what to do, but also from the standpoint of, hey, here is a guide to follow. And lastly, and very briefly, as I hate talking about myself, just to introduce who I am, so there's no stranger danger, like who is this guy talking to us? Hi, I'm Brandon. From the get-go, I knew that I wanted to help other people. I knew that I wanted to be a catalyst for change in other people's lives somehow, and I wanted to kind of manifest how I wanted to do so. So I started a career in business strategy consulting, essentially with the goal to help positively impact patient lives for some of the largest Fortune 500 corporations that I've had the great opportunity to work across. And I was just really able to broaden out my experience professionally, across innovation priorities, workforce development, change management. You're a consultant, you get to work everywhere. So I've worked for some of the largest organizations throughout their brand and also on business development priorities. So, but aside from that, my mission is really to help make change that matters. So to be a catalyst for change, full stop. That is my mission. That is what I'm here to do. I believe that is the calling that God has for my life. And so those are some of the things that kind of bolster out who I am and why I'm doing this. And aside from that, I'm an Army brat and a PK's, which is a preacher's kid if you're fancy. But enough about me. Focus is on you. So let's go ahead and jump into the material.